right, we're going to start live in about a minute. Okay, so I have my notes here, and then you have those other ones?
Yep.
Yeah, 1 minute, and then we always do traffic. The last traffic of the morning is 9 o'clock, so we'll do that, and then it go into...
You can read those. We can go back and forth between those.
For these?
Yeah, because they're things on things, and then we need...
Okay.
And we'll just kind of throw, but at least that way we have the songs. All right, I'm going to start the live feed right now. We're going live. 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're going live with Elvis. Yay! Everybody scream. Yay! We're going live. All right, here we go. Here we go. We're going live. There we go. Get that done. Okay. Actually, I don't think I need this today. I don't need that. I don't need that. Gotta put my Elvis scarf on from Jimmy. I tagged him today. I said, hey, when you wake up this morning in Vegas.
It's 56 degrees.
There we go. Here we go. We're getting ready. Hi, Facebook Live. We're going live today. This is going to be a fun show. Are you ready?
No accidents in the Lehigh Valley on 22 or 78, Berks County on 222 or 4. School County on 209, 305, and 61, Carter County on 248 or 443 or on the Turnpike. The 69 Traffic Center tip line is 610, 820, 1111. I'm with the 69 News Traffic Center. Hi, I'm Sam Yoder. I'm a financial service professional with Primerica. I teach people about money and how to use it wisely for the future. I'm an investment and life insurance licensed in multiple states.
You're so good on the radio.
610-442-2209.
I should be.
My website is www.primerica.com/syoder. That's www.primerica.com/SYODER. Our mission is to help families make and earn more money, help them become properly protected, debt-free, and financially independent.
Good morning. You are joining the Dr. Susan's PH live call-in health and wellness show. The phone number is 610-866-8074.
Well, good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday in this lovely, nice spring/summer day in
Beautiful
April
day.
in the
Beautiful
Lehigh
day.
Valley. We are live on WGPA. I am Dr. Susan. I run a health practice in Nazareth called Dr. Susan's PH, Balance Your Body Chemistry, Balance Your Life. And I am with my co-host in crime,
I am Sam.
Sam from Primerica. So every Wednesday we do a show here on WGPA and we talk about health, happiness, wellness, and we try to do things that keep you healthy and happy in your life. We broadcast live on my Facebook page and then eventually it goes up on my YouTube channel. And there's so many amazing things going on out there in the world, but we always try to pick topics that relate to what's going on a little bit.
Absolutely.
And today's topic is something that goes way back in my lifetime, but I always look at things in a different way, right? You too.
Just slightly different.
That's why we do so well on the air together. So
Absolutely.
anyway, so today's topic is living your life through an Elvis song.
Uh-huh.
Good job, good job, good job. But people are
That's my
going,
best Elvis
why
impersonation.
would you pick this topic in April? And you know, there's so many things why. But the other thing is too is I believe too, in order to be healthy, happy, and stress free, and you know, move on in life, you also need like this inspiration.
Yes, definitely.
You need an inspiration. So, and we talked a while back about if you had a theme song that followed you around in your life, life would be just so much better. Like, you know,
Just playing as soon as you enter a room.
you know, if I had a full orchestra following
Yes.
me around, I'd be awesome all the time. I mean, you know.
Most definitely.
So we're going to talk about Elvis today. And what question did you ask me when we came in the studio this morning?
Why did you pick April? Because it has no real correlation with his birth or death.
Well, kind of. It's kind of in the middle.
Well, in the middle, but
It's
I
in the
mean,
middle.
it wasn't exact on those days.
Right. So it's, January 8th, he was born
Mhm.
in Mississippi. And then, of course, we know he died in August 16th of 77. And this is kind of like, halfway in between that, that, birth, death
So we
thing.
need
And,
that motivational
But-
lift.
yeah. But the other cool thing, too, is why Elvis right now is if you are on, some of the satellite radios and if you have the app, there's this app on your phone, they are starting to release.
Re-release.
Not re-release, but release a lot of the footage that he recorded in the RCA studios in Tennessee.
Okay, very
So,
cool.
Like it took 15 takes to do like Treat Me Nice from beginning to end, but they're starting to release all of those recordings, and you get to hear what happened in the studio. So I was listening to them this week, and I'm thinking that process of following a journey or following a path or getting from a beginning to end or setting a goal and achieving your goal has a lot to do with health.
Absolutely.
A lot to, like, if you have a goal, what's your goal? What are you going to do? So I figured, let's throw Elvis into the mix here in the health and wellness plan, and let's talk about some of his songs and how they've changed people's lives for the better, and let's throw in some history and keep people happy for a little bit on Elvis. So if
Not jumping out of any airplanes and being a flying Elvis.
I did. And that's funny you mentioned that because I have a friend in Vegas. I actually tagged him this morning in a social media post. He's probably still in bed because different time zone in Vegas. He is a flying Elvi. Now, if you don't know what a flying Elvi is, these are guys who dress up Elvis full costume and jump out of airplanes.
Just insane.
They're not insane. It's phenomenally cool. Jimmy I told him I was going to mention him on the show. I was like, gotta watch this. So I had the opportunity, I was flown to Vegas a couple of times to present at health and wellness seminars. I was keynote speaker for a couple of times to talk to a bunch of doctors about integrative health. I was a keynote speaker one time to talk about seed-based nutrition in Vegas. So they would fly me out and I would do my presentation, and talk. Well, one time I think I was in a room like 3,000 medical doctors and giving them the other side of the coin.
Yes.
So I was the keynote speaker for that one in Vegas. So while I was out there, I, went to
The truth and nothing but the truth.
well, that's right. So I went out there, and Jimmy's like, "Let's go skydiving." I'm like, "Sure, why not?" So we went in a plane, did a tandem dive. It was phenomenal. And if you need proof that God exists, jump out of an airplane at 10,000 feet.
Mm-hmm.
The view, you can't even and that feeling of flying through the air. Now I know why people. It's a phenomenal feeling, but just the view of just unscattered.
I did the Sky Coaster at the Allentown Fair, and that was
Not even close. Oh my, not even close. So Jimmy's a phenomenal skydiver, hit on point. But anyway, he is a flying Elvis. So he had the opportunity to be in the movie, the America's Musical Journey. It was filmed for IMAX. So if you haven't had a chance, please go Google americasmusicaljourney.com and take a look at that movie.
I watched a little bit of it. It's amazing.
It's phenomenal. It's just, but that whole piece of just understanding what those guys do and jumping out of airplanes and
It's
kind of
not
cool.
just jumping out of airplanes.
So, Jimmy, if you're not watching this on Facebook Live, but you listen to this later on my YouTube channel, I am wearing my Flying Elvi scarf. I even have my Elvis sunglasses on, and I even have my Elvis t-shirt on today. I'm not wearing a Dr. Susan shirt, so I own something other than a Dr. Susan shirt, everybody. I have my Elvis shirt my girlfriend and I got.
That's
And by the way,
fantastic.
this came from Graceland.
Beautiful.
My shirt came from Graceland when my girlfriend and I went down to Graceland.
Touch it real
Oh
quick,
yes,
just to-
it's an Elvis shirt from Graceland. I wanted to buy the jumpsuit, but my girlfriend Jillian was like,
that's-
I
yeah,
don't
that's a
think I'm
little
gonna spend
tacky.
10 grand for it. I would wear it. If it had bling, I would wear it. It was just, but that's my thing. So,
Mhm.
hence Elvis. So, let's talk about, Elvis and life and all the fun things and crazy. I asked on social media, on all my social media pages, I have like 10 of them. I said, okay, guys, if you had to pick an Elvis song that would kind of memorialize your life or kind of gives you the inspiration to get through your life, what would it be? Okay, I'm putting you on the spot. I am Sam.
See, there's so many. I have a couple. My way, because I do things my way. I'm all shook up because I'm just frazzled sometimes. And I really do like How Great Thou Art. Yeah,
Yes.
Even though he did not write
Well,
those
he was
or-
very influenced by the Southern Gospel
Yes.
thing, but again, he grew up in a Pentecostal church. If you
Yes.
know about the Pentecostal church, they're the hands all the way above your head kind of group,
Yes.
and a lot of influences in that Southern bluesy gospel stuff. He got in trouble for that, by the way, but that's not true. But
Well, that's,
so your
getting in
song,
trouble.
you're going to pick "My Way" as your number one song.
I'm gonna have to say My Way is.
See, and that's funny
it fits
because-
me sort of the most because I gotta do it my way.
That's me too.
Mhm.
My way or no way. It's like my way or the highway, and that is truly my way. I've always outside the box. If you say no, I am going to either A, prove you wrong,
Or question.
or I always question no. No means next, or I'm always going to find a better
Absolutely.
alternative way. If you tell me it's policy, I'm going to say, well, your policy is pathetic. You need to change your policy because it's stupid. So, let's look at logic here. But yeah, my way is definitely my theme for my life. But let's give you trivia now.
Good, bad, or indifferent.
Don't care.
It's my way.
Here's the fun thing about my way.
Okay.
Elvis didn't write that song.
Who did?
Oh, I know. Kidding, you're talking to like the trivia queen here over here. So, my way was written
Mhm.
by a guy who kissed my cheek.
Your cheek.
Yeah, absolutely. No joke. This is like, I'm never washing this cheek ever again. Paul Anka.
Wow.
The
Very cool.
Put Your Head on My Shoulder guy.
Okay.
Yes, he.
Put your head on my
Anyway,
shoulder.
Elvis didn't do that one though. Paul did. Paul
Okay.
wrote that song actually not for Elvis, but he wrote it in France for Frank Sinatra.
Ah, okay.
Frank Sinatra released it first, and then Elvis re-released it.
Okay.
So My Way became a very. But anyway, that's my fun fact
Mhm.
about My Way because I got to see Paul Anka in concert in the '90s, and I was on the end, and he was walking down the, like, oh my gosh. So anyway, it's just
And
funny.
he kissed your cheek.
Yes, it was funny. Anyway.
Very cool.
But that's My Way. So I would definitely pick My Way. Now, my girlfriend, Shelly, posted online her song, especially after watching today's news. I don't know what happened in today's news. I don't watch the news, so I'm not going to watch the news. But Shelly posted that her favorite inspirational song that has kind of led her in a healthy journey is If I Can Dream, which is a really good song.
Dreaming is a big part of just living your life healthy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think everybody can dream. I think we
Yes.
should all dream. Written in 1968, which is funny because that's the year I was born. But I love it. If I hear that song, I'm blasting it on the radio.
Mhm.
Like I don't, all the way up. One of the things. Love that song. I can remember hearing that for the first time. I think I was a little kid in my parents'
So
basement.
many good songs.
Oh, there's a ton. Okay. Fun fact. Do you know how many songs Elvis has recorded?
More than one.
Good answer.
Rocks in the studio going, good answer, more than one. Yeah, no kidding. Hey, if you're listening, we're on WGPA. The call-in number here is 610-866-8074, 610-866-8074. Rock is manning the words. We were talking about living your life through an Elvis song and how he's inspired you to be healthy or happy or just, that's it, I'm done with the crazy, we're moving on. So, we're talking about that, but we're talking about If I Can Dream.
If I Could Dream.
The funny thing is the man has recorded over 600 songs. 600.
That's amazing.
600 songs he's recorded. Some have never been released. They're still in studio boxes.
Imagine having those original recordings.
Oh, they're finding them now. It's kind of cool because they're re-releasing something else now. But he never singly wrote any of them, ever. He has been credited with co-writing a few because he did a lot of changes in the studio, like from beginning to end. But he never wrote one. But he was so smart.
He was brilliant.
Like for instance, Mac Davis wrote a song for him. Do you know which one?
No, I don't.
Oh, come on! How do you not know that?
I do not know the trivia. I'm sorry.
Okay, anyway. Yeah, I get excited about this crazy stuff. Anyway, so it's neat because he was smart financially because if you wrote a song for Elvis and if you wanted him to record it, he got 50% ownership in the song.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant. Talk about planning ahead. And in our health, we need to plan ahead all the time, especially taking care of our financial future.
Financial future planning
Yeah.
ahead is key.
Oh, big time. So Elvis did plan ahead, which is good because his estate is still making money today.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not even here. He died in 1977.
Over 45 years ago, or almost 45
Yeah.
years ago, and his estate is still producing residual income.
And do you know how much he makes a year in residual income?
depending on which source, but it's 40 to 55 million
A year on residual income.
A man who's been dead for 45 years, residual
Talk
income.
about return to sender, baby.
Oh, absolutely.
There you go.
And that's not renewable income. That is residual.
Residual income.
Mhm.
So if you don't know about residual income, and if you want to be healthy and happy tomorrow, you need to learn about residual income.
Absolutely.
I have a couple of, they call them side hustles. I hate that term. But I have a couple of,
Multiple
companies
streams of income.
that, pay me monthly because of what I do, or if I mention them on the air, or, or I support them, or I present at their conferences, or teach their, consultants about their product or nutrition
Absolutely.
labels. So it's a good way to earn money. If you are hurting for money, you need to learn about residual income. So yeah, so return to sender is a definite option for that. But yeah, he never wrote a song. But over 30 movies.
Just amazing.
None of them won an Oscar though. Isn't that just sorry.
No one was slapping people back then.
Well, Elvis got blamed. See, Elvis and I are a lot alike. He got blamed for all
For
this stuff he didn't even do. I'm like,
Yep.
seriously? Wait, you're responsible for juvenile delinquency? Excuse me? Because I sang up on a stage, I'm responsible for
He shook
juvenile
his
delinquency.
hips a little bit. So
I'll
let's
shook
see.
up. He shook people up.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, the king of rock and roll, interesting thing. The funny thing is he recorded a demo and he took a risk. Sometimes you have to take a risk.
Taking that leap of faith.
And, with your health, I do that all the time. People go, how can you do that? That's risky. Well, I know it's going to work at the end and I know I'm going to be okay. It's even like with all of the laser surgery or laser therapy I've done on my ankle or even on my knee. I mean, my last knee guy told me I wasn't going to. He goes, you really should never run again. I'm like, watch me. I'm going to take that risk. I'm going to laser my knee. I'm going to do cryotherapy on my knee. And guess what? I'm not running again. And he's like, at your age and, with how much arthritis you have and, because my tibia was broke a couple years ago. It healed wrong. And I'm like, I'm not having that surgery.
Nope.
He goes, you're going to limp the rest of your life? I'm like, I think I'm not limping. But so I took a risk and I'm doing things that everybody says no to. And, I was out running the other day. I did 4 miles. So, and if I have time today, I'll probably go out and do another 4 today. But it's doing that, following your path, I think. And Elvis did a lot of that because he did a lot of things people told him not to do.
Yes.
And I think it was a very interesting plan to and he had this, I remember when we were in Tennessee, we were talking to some of the groundskeepers, and one of them told us this story when we were down there about not accepting no as an answer. Like no was just not a possibility. Absolutely. At certain things. And he always had this higher vision. He always knew where he wanted to be, and he always knew a goal, like even like recording Treat Me Nice 15 times. He just knew it wasn't right.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't explain it sometimes, but chord progression wasn't right on that, all the way from beginning to end. And back then, when they recorded music, it wasn't like today.
It was a tedious
You play
process.
a wrong note today. I have a system on my computer at home that if I record something on my piano at home and want to play it back at church, my son can go in and literally, if I play one wrong note, he can go into the computer recording, take out the wrong note, put in the right note, and it's all better, and no one ever knows. They do that, and they
not instant gratification.
It's ridiculous. Anyway, back then, they went from start. If they messed up on measure 49, they were going back to 0 and playing the whole thing all over again. Everybody in the studio at the same time. So it was interesting to listen to the Treat Me Nice recordings because it took like 15 takes. But he was so particular about things. He started his own business and he had a logo in his head one night. He's in New York, his jewelry guy's in Los Angeles, different time zones. So he had this whole motto called Taking Care of Business, TCB, and it had a lightning bolt. That's his logo. If anybody doesn't know that, that was Elvis's thing. TCB, Taking Care of Business, because he was very if he wanted it done, he wanted it done right, and he didn't want any garbage.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of how I am with my life. Don't be inefficient in my life and don't waste my time. And I'm kind of like that with people when people come in to see me in my health practice, I'm kind of like that. I'm like, well, if you want this, if you do this, you'll get that. Do it. Change today, and then you'll have greater results.
But you have to change. You have to do some work. Mm-hmm.
Elvis didn't accept or didn't appreciate people who didn't understand his time frame.
Mm-hmm.
So when he wanted a gold necklace made with the TCB and his lightning bolt logo, and he drew it on a napkin on a plane in New York. He wanted the necklace made the next day. So he called Beverly Hills and got his jeweler, but of course it was 3 a.m. in LA and everybody's sleeping, and to him that didn't matter. He's like, nope, I'm business, I'm paying this much money, you should be working for me. I want this done, I want it proofed, and I want my necklace by the time I get out to LA the next day. And that's how he was, though.
He knew what he wanted.
He knew what he wanted, he knew how he wanted it done, and he knew what it took to get there, but he also knew that if you were inefficient and couldn't meet certain goals, then you weren't going to be successful either. And that was an interesting story from the guys down in Tennessee. I thought it was neat.
Fantastic.
But so we're, like I said, so we're talking about healthy and happy and your inspiration piece in the world. So there's so many songs that you could pick from. Like I only did like the top 50 list. I printed it out for Sam for this.
Hound Dog, Viva Las Vegas.
So there's all kind of things. But so one of the other things that was interesting is, the military piece for Elvis's life. Now, everybody knows me personally. My husband's still in the military. I have a lot of friends who husbands have been in. They've been in. A lot of my cousins. So he got drafted in '58.
Left his career and went to serve for the country.
But that created that was like a media firestorm back then. Everybody was so upset.
Absolutely.
Can you imagine if there would have
it
been
was a frenzy.
TikTok back then and Elvis was Elvis was
the
drafted.
thought of him going to war, it created just an absolute frenzy.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but the funny thing is him again, and this is that the point I'm going with this is when he came back in '60. Okay, he came back. The interesting thing about that was everybody thought that he was done when he came back, and it's that no piece, and it's that to me I related it to everybody thought he was done, and I kind of look at it, the medical community right now, where the medical community tells patients something about their health that's so wrong it's not even funny. It is so off the beaten path, and then they come to me and I'm like, no, that's not right. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. My favorite thing right now is the medications that they are prescribing in the medical community. I sit back and go, how much metformin are you on? Like I have patients who are not even diabetic. They are not diabetic. They're using this new term called pre-diabetic. Okay, and then because they are pre-diabetic, they're putting them on
All
these horrific drugs that no one should ever be on, and it's pre-diabetic. You're not diabetic. You are not diabetic. So to me, I relate it to, and metformin, if you are not diabetic and you are on metformin, the system shutdown that can cause in your body is catastrophic. I know about 10 patients right now who were put on it who were not diabetic. They were not diagnosed with diabetes. Some medical provider said, oh, you're pre-diabetic. You might get diabetes later. They end up losing 50 to 80% of their body weight. Their pancreas started to shut down. They started having brain fog, mental fog. I had one guy who lost his hair and his fingernails started to deteriorate because he was on 2,000, and if you don't know medical pharmaceutical knowledge, but anyway, he was on twice the normal dose because someone told him he was pre-diabetic.
Oh, they have to create more.
It's a money making. I get it. But my thing is that's like telling someone that you're pre-cancer, and you know what, honey, I took a picture of you with my iPhone, and my iPhone picture said that you were pre-cancerous. So you know what, we're gonna start you on chemo today. That's the same concept. Same concept. My thing is, well, technically we're all pre-death because we all have the same finish line. Does that mean I'm putting you in a coffin today? Which, by the way, Sam, what color coffin would you like?
I'm good with plywood because I'm cremated.
I'm gonna rent a cardboard box.
Absolutely.
Don't even bother. So, but that's and that's what I relate the 19 when he came back in the 60s. He became very successful. He recorded a couple of songs when he got back. One of your faves, Hound Dog. And he was very good about that. And everybody's like, oh my gosh, he's very successful. That's when the movie started, by the way.
Oh yes, the film industry just blew up.
So he came back and like, oh, you're not going to amount to anything when you come back from Germany. And then bingo, he took off, and then they started doing the films. And favorite Elvis movie, go. Wait, you are taking way too long to answer. Wait too long.
I'm sorry.
Have you seen an Elvis movie?
I have seen them. I just don't know all the titles.
Oh, come on.
I've watched them as a kid, but I just don't know.
I bet Rock's sitting over there, like shaking his head, going, "Man, how do you not know an Elvis movie?"
She's going to GI Blues.
No, I wasn't gonna go to GI Blues. Blue Hawaii.
Okay.
Blue Hawaii.
With
Okay,
the
because
blue
one of his
jumpsuit?
most famous songs, okay, is from Blue Hawaii, 1961.
That's his signature song.
His signature song,
Yep.
written by. Okay, Rock. I'm gonna trivia. Rock's coming in on the show here. So, do you know who wrote "Can't Help Falling in Love" in '61? 3 guys got together and wrote that song.
Not offhand, no.
Okay, so
No,
Hugo
offhand.
Peretti, he was a songwriter back in the day. George David Weiss, I think they have him as listed, and then Lugo Creator. But here's the unknown fact about "Can't Help Falling in Love." They wrote the song for the movie. The producers hated the song and didn't want the song in Blue Hawaii. And Elvis is like,
Nope. I'm doing it.
I like that song. I'm going to do that song in the movie. And here we go. And "Can't Help Falling in Love" is one of those most covered songs. You know, there's like the top 5 most covered songs that everybody in the universe has sang. "Can't Help Falling in Love" ended up being one of them. And talk about residual income on
He
that
had
one,
the
baby.
dream and the vision.
Well, that's it. And that was an interesting thing. But that was from Blue Hawaii, 1961. And that was another one that kind of led him into even more success. You know, but that's what I love. "Can't Help Falling in Love." There's so many cool ways to play that song.
Forrest Gump.
Well, I didn't see that. That's funny. I haven't even seen that movie. I just think life is like a box of chocolates. But, you know, that's one of those other cool things where, again, if we take the actions and go, okay, look, everybody said no. And he's like, well, let me rethink that.
We're still gonna do it.
We're still going to do it. And I think that's that no piece. Just say no. And, okay, not from the 80s,
Did it
Nancy
his way.
Reagan drug campaign, but that just say no. I think we're allowed with our health to just say no. I have so many people who are afraid to say no to their medical provider. Why not? At the end of the day, and not to, well, if you're offended, too bad, I don't care. You know, at the end of the day, anybody who's in a medical professional desk and that you've become an MD, we all have the same thing in common. We've all gone to school, and we've all taken and passed some type of boards. I have to pass my boards every 2 years for nutrition, health, and wellness, or I can't keep my certification. Okay, so we've all done that. So the MD that you're talking to, or the PA, is just someone who went to school and passed a test. That's it. Now, unfortunately, the stuff I know about the current nursing colleges in the universe, they keep lowering the standards on what it takes to become a nurse, and pretty soon you can become a nurse in less than 2 weeks. You might as well just go through a drive-through and print your certificate from Holiday Inn Express, from what I'm hearing from a lot of nursing instructors right now, which is depressing. You know, so suspicious minds. We're allowed to question that person sitting behind a desk. It's just a person who passed the test, just like me. Question me. And I think the problem with is so many people don't have those suspicious minds, 1969, and don't question what's being thrown at them. How do you not ask important questions? How do you not ask about side effects of a drug that your doctor is going to give you, but I can guarantee you he didn't even take a pharmacology class in the past 2 years. So, because pharmacology changes every 30 days.
Absolutely.
So, how do you not ask those questions for your health and be suspicious? Just be suspicious. And go, yo, what are you talking about? What is that? So, do you ask questions?
Oh, absolutely. Why? How?
Do you question authority?
Always. Always.
I get in trouble for that.
That is one of my major
I get-
flaws, that I question authority.
Give me a
I'm
rule, I'm going to
allergic
find out how to
to
break it.
bosses.
I was raised, and it's funny because my kids, I have 4 kids, and it's funny because you know how you play a family board game? It got to the point where I stopped playing with one of my kids because they learned how to cheat. But again, and I don't look at cheating as bad. I really don't. Some people go, oh my gosh, cheaters are losers. No. If you think about, let's say you're playing backgammon, or let's say you're playing Monopoly or whatever, and you know, even chess, and you cheat. The reason why people cheat for one reason. They don't want to lose. But if you cheat and you're good at it, that takes a high level of intelligence to do that.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, so I can understand that. But yeah, I just think you got to be suspicious because that's just, especially in today's world. And now
Not
you got
cheating on everything.
not everything. No, I mean, but my new thing is I think we really need to be suspicious about the new junk coming out about COVID.
There's a lot. There's a lot of noise.
Oh my gosh! And now I'm laughing hysterically because now there's so many people sick, but now all of a sudden the flu is back. The flu
Imagine that.
disappeared for
Oh my gosh.
2 years. 2 years it
Mhm.
disappeared, and now magically, just like that, it's back.
It's
But
not
yet no
working.
one's questioning
Release the
that. Like,
flu.
you people are not suspicious. Like, oh my gosh. So anyway, and then someone posted on social media, the CDC is the devil in disguise. 1968.
Mhm.
So there you go. Like, well, that would not be surprising at any point in time if you have read all the reports that I have that's coming out. So, but again, we are live on the air. We're going to take a break right now. We're with Sam. We're on WGPA
Sam.
sunny 1100 AM. We're going to take a station break right now, but we will be back talking about how Elvis songs can help your health or inspire you to be a better person. We'll be right back after this.
Are you ready to conquer the chaos?
I'm sorry, I was reading when you said about the movie, and I was like, ah.
So we need to mention some of those.
Okay.
We'll go back.
Wellness Hour every Wednesday from 9
I can say
to
the
10
first
a.m.
names.
Huh?
I can say the
First names, yeah.
first names.
Yep.
Okay.
GPA sunny 1100 Wednesdays from 9 to 10 a.m. For upcoming show information, go to drsusansph.com. Tune in every Wednesday at 9 a.m.
Jeez.
It's 9:30.
This is the WGPA Sunny 1100 AccuWeather forecast. Very warm today with periods of sun, high 80. Mostly cloudy tonight, low 62. Breezy and very warm tomorrow with clouds and sun. Thunderstorm in the afternoon, high 80. Cooler tomorrow, and sunny 48. Friday, mostly sunny, still cooler, high 66. Plenty of clouds. Weather tonight, AccuWeather app today. WGPA Sunny 1100 and AccuWeather Metro Golden.
It's 59 degrees with 62% humidity. Best little station in the valley. The variety of your music is outstanding. Thank you and keep up the good music.
I'm Sam. I'm a financial service representative with Primerica. I teach people about money and how to use it wisely for the future. I'm investment and life insurance licensed in multiple states. My number is 610-442-8209, and my website is www.primerica.com/SYoder. That's www.primerica.com/SYODER. Our mission is to help families make and earn more money, help them become retirement protected, debt-free, and financially independent.
So I face the final curtain. My friend, I'll say it clear. I'll state my case, of which I'm certain.
Such a
Well,
fantastic song.
we are listening
Mhm.
to My Way, written by Paul Anka, initially for Frankie Boy, but Blue Eyes, but Elvis kind of
Elvis-
took that and made it
Elvis
his
did
way.
it. Mhm.
And we're talking on WGP. I am Dr. Susan from Dr. Susan's page, Integrative Holistic Health in Nazareth, Pennsylvania. I have my own health practice. We do everything from pain management to weight loss to I'm giving someone a power for body wax today, which will lose a
And
couple of
she's
inches.
awesome.
I know, I try. And now when people answer the phone and go, "How are you?" I'm like, "I am amazing.
Mhm.
I told someone yesterday. Somebody called me and goes, "How are you?" I'm like, "I'm gorgeous. How are you?" It's like if, people can call themselves by whatever pronoun they want. I figure I'm going to give my own adjective and go from there.
Absolutely.
We're talking about Elvis, and I asked a lot of people if you could pick an Elvis song that really speaks to you or kind of helped you on a healthier path or a better path in your life. What was it? So, Sam, who's been calling in and telling this stuff?
So some of them that have called in and wrote in, Cindy says, it's a tie, Burning Love and I Can't Help Falling in Love. Also Fame and Fortune. Primo says, hands down, it's Simple Hound Dog. And Ruthie, who loved him as a kid and she said, love me tender.
Yeah.
So all the love songs.
Lot of songs. And the funny thing is his last big hit in '72 was "Burning Love." That was like the last one, because his whole life kind of fell apart at that point in time. I think when I die and come back, I want to smack whoever was around Elvis at that time and didn't put him on a healthier path. I just want to kind of like, you idiot, like, what did you do to that poor man? But that's just my own personal,
I always thought that was wrong. The doctor, it was, all right, the doctor did whatever he wanted. Wrote out the prescriptions he wanted, but he only got 6 months. 6 months suspension of practicing as a doctor.
I'll take care of him after I die.
That is sinful.
Yeah, that's my karmic revenge is on those people who've destroyed people and just have no remorse for that.
I do forget the name, and maybe that's good
Oh,
too.
I do too. Yeah, but I just don't like. I have such an issue. Even today with some of the.
How do some of those people sleep?
Even like I can get on a whole tirade on people prescribing medication right now, and the stuff I see, and I'm like, wait, you're on 7 medications because of that? I mean, well, what happens if that is not what's wrong with you? So you're on all that junk for absolutely no reason whatsoever.
And not only health and wellness, but financially. Those people that
they can't afford them. And my favorite now is, and this is, I have such an issue. When I look at medication, I do a lot of research because I have to for what I do. But when I look at a pharmaceutical, you can go back, you can know a lot of these things. And this is where this whole suspicious mind things come in, where every drug that's ever been out there, when it was initially manufactured or made, it was made based on either male sample cells or female sample cells, which mean when that drug was initially thrown out there and clinically tested, which is a joke with the way they do the clinical test now, is that it was programmed to work on female DNA or male DNA. You kind of need to know that about the junk your doctor's thrown at you, because I've got men now who are taking drugs and well, you realize when that drug was introduced and when it was tested and when it was developed, it was biologically designed for XX DNA, not the DNA you have, and you wonder why you're having problems and it's not working on you. That's what people don't understand. They also don't understand, like, and I'm so suspicious about any medication, the NNT number needed to treat. Most people don't even know. I bet you if you asked your MD right now, let's say they're going to give you gabapentin, and they go, oh, well, if you asked your doctor what the NNT is for gabapentin, your doctor probably doesn't even know what NNT is. It's called the number needed to treat. And that means how many people have to take the drug that they've tested DNA-wise where it doesn't even work on. So, like, if your NNT number is 300, why bother? Like, that means that 300 people it just doesn't work. It's a percentage of failure rate, but people don't even look at that. And the problem is now is we can go into the whole suspicious mind thing, but it's sad that people don't understand that about the drugs, that they just randomly go to the pharmacy and pick up and they don't even think about other options. But it's a tough thing, but I've always been that way. Like I can remember I was really sick at one point and my doctor gave me 3 meds, and I'm like, okay. And then when I went home, I got the 3 little bottles and I put them on the counter, and I called a friend of mine who did what I does now. He does what I do now because I learned a lot from him. He goes, well, let's take each drug, let's look at them, let's look at the NNT, let's look at how they were developed, let's look at where they've met. And one of the drugs that was prescribed to me, the NNT number was like 567. I'm like, oh, so basically 80% of the people that take this drug, it's not going to work on them anyway. Basically, yeah. Okay, and then it was also for males, not women. I'm like, last time I checked, I had 4 kids, I was a woman, I'm sorry. So that was when I stopped. I'm like, oh, you people are, and I even said to my doctor, I said, you're an idiot. I've never gone back. But again,
they're not biologists. So
well, they don't know anything. But it's just, and then, anyway. So let's go into some other cool things about Elvis and just using some of the songs to kind of throw you up. So Joelle, I know, wrote in, and she did A Little Less Conversation, I do believe. That might not be on your list.
Okay, no, I don't see that.
So A Little Less Conversation, written in '68. Now here's your trivia. I mentioned this guy before. He's a famous singer.
I'm 71, so I
don't care. Who did I mention earlier in the show? That'd be our trivia giveaway. We'll give away a prize here. What singer-songwriter did I mention earlier in the show? And I said,
I can't say it because that's the giveaway.
A Little Less Conversation in '68, written by Mac Davis. He became his own famous singer song. He just died not too long ago.
So you just gave the answer away. How
I
can you
know.
give
Well,
something else?
you know, just one of those things.
Okay.
So a little less conversation, a lot more action.
Mhm.
Wouldn't that be nice if everybody do that? All talk. Everybody's all
Mhm.
talk, but you don't do anything. You know.
But no action.
And that's a lot about today, don't you
Yes,
think? Like everybody
absolutely.
talk,
Yeah.
and it's like a little puppet thing.
But nothing gets done.
Now, here's the next one. A lot of people wrote in on this one about, you know, how to be healthy and, you know, how to live your life. Don't be cruel.
Don't be cruel. Absolutely. Tell the truth. Don't be cruel.
See, now, I'm going to go on the other side of that one. I have to.
You have to be honest.
Right.
You don't have to be nasty or cruel about it.
Sometimes you need to be, though, because sometimes you need that
Well,
shock
okay,
value, because some
do
people
need
just
the-
don't get
The
it.
slap in the face. I get that.
Right.
But, or the literal, not literal, but
Yeah,
figurative,
sometimes they need
yes.
the literal,
Yeah.
too.
But
Some of the stuff I'm saying right now,
to
I think
open
we
our
need to be
eyes,
cruel, because some of
yes,
these people,
that's-
like,
mhm.
what did there's some things I cannot say in there, but anyway, but don't be cruel. I think people need a wake up call.
A wake up call. Yes.
You know, it's just all these people who, you know, heaven forbid you offend them.
Well,
you should
see,
be
see, that's the extreme of the offense and,
Yeah.
and everything.
Oh, don't hurt my feelings. Well, if your feelings are hurt, it's your fault. FYI.
Yes.
Newsflash out there. If your
That is
feelings are hurt, it is your
your
fault.
issue.
You let your feelings be hurt, honey. No one can. Joel just typed in "truth hurts, baby." Well, you know what? And the thing is, if the truth hurts, and if you're offended, that should be a wake up call for
That
you.
should be
That
a
is
sign.
your-
Here's your
Hello.
sign.
You know, it's like, you know, follow your dream, but you know, your dream shouldn't be my dream, right?
No, everyone's dream is
Well,
different.
just because you're offended, why should I care? No offense, but I'm not inside your head, and I know how to fix mine. Can you fix yours? So, but I think that's the piece that's missing out there in the world today, and I think people would be healthier and less stressed if they stopped worrying about that junk so much.
But see, a wake up call and treating people decently is you know, the don't be cruel aspect.
Right,
That's,
exactly.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm going.
Right. Oh, I understand. Don't be
Yeah.
deliberately or malicious.
Yes.
Yeah, don't be
Exactly.
malicious. Yeah, we don't like that. You know, you don't want to leave everybody crying in the chapel.
No.
Well, that's what does bother me, is how many personal people now I got to know after they got their second shot for the pandemic, or they had a heart problem the next day.
Oh, yes.
People, they know somebody that died.
Oh, I know, man. I
And
know
this
several
is,
who died.
exactly. And this is,
It's a shame.
yeah, it is a shame because, okay, there was a big hurry to develop some antidote, but it still should have been followed through. And everything that they talk about today, the newest variant, none of them mean they're
And
behind.
and
They're
the-
behind on the
this-
thing. Eventually, they'll
Right.
get a shot to take care of.
But not in
Yeah,
tears.
but it's
Right,
what you're saying earlier. You know,
no.
how much do you trust? How
Not-
much can you trust
I don't
anymore?
trust them. Right now, from what I'm saying, I don't trust the medical community that much at all. No, thank you. And plus, now that they're still firing people who don't want to get the vaccine. My girlfriend was
Horrible.
messaging me yesterday. I set her up with a lawyer. I'm like, this is where, you know, it's I shall not be moved should be our motto. Like this is it. You know, and a lot of people too, like we said, I was at a meeting last night, like it's now or never, people. Like if you want to step up or step aside, it's now or never. You need to be that piece of getting forward to a better place. And I know you don't need to be cruel or anything, but at the same point in time, you have to understand a lot of stuff coming down the pike is not going to end well for a lot of
Oh, no.
people
No,
at
not at
all.
I gotta know.
It's you know, jailhouse rock cannot come soon enough for some of these people. You know,
It hurts me how much people.
That was a good song. It hurts me.
Absolutely.
it's good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just kind of funny, but yeah, it's just kind of an interesting thing. But you know, my favorite, but other things is I have a lot of people now suffering from cognitive decline as a result of a lot of different things. So one of my girlfriends typed in, she goes, Elvis recorded one. I don't know this one off the top of my head. I forgot to remember to forget. I forgot to remember to forget. 1955.
How can you not know that? That's the first #1 record he ever had.
Mhm.
Well, you know,
When you asked
I
it-
wasn't even born back then.
Right. and you ask the trivia question, what was Elvis's first number one? And they all say Heartbreak Hotel.
No.
That is not true.
That's right.
The Sun record, released in '55, went number one on the nationwide country chart. I forgot to remember to forget, and Mystery Train.
Yeah,
Junior
Mystery
Parker's
Train.
Mystery
Yes,
Train.
Mystery Train was one of the
Stan
first ones.
Kessler and who I did meet. I did meet Stan that wrote that song.
Right. Yeah, and Mystery Train
Very
was
cool.
done before Tom Parker took over, right, for him? Yes.
Junior Parker.
Junior Parker.
Yeah.
Different Parker, all right. Junior Parker, a blues guy, recorded that same song on Sun Records, and it's only a couple of numbers later when Elvis re-recorded that
Right.
song.
So, but that's kind of an interesting, but it's funny how what people think, and again, it's perception. But so it's funny how you can, learn all these things about, Elvis.
Puppet on a string.
Well, puppet on a string. Oh, okay, that's like every news reporter out there right now because all their someone was laughing at me the other day. I had to present last night at our local board meeting. Because of course they want to
School
raise
board.
taxes, which is ridiculous. But anyway, so we're fighting the whole tax increase. But it's interesting. But a puppet on a string. It's funny how you watch that where people simply repeat regurgitated information. I'm like, are you listening to what you said? It's just, okay, so why are you following that pathway?
Absolutely.
The argument that is going on now is why kids today are not learning cursive writing. Why are they not learning cursive writing? Well, lazy. Well, the thing of it is when I was in one of my colleges, one of the things I studied a lot was cognitive development and what makes people intelligent versus not, and how they can use their brain and problem solve and critically think and think ahead and think 10 steps ahead, or we call it lateral thinking. So if A doesn't work, you can go to B. If B doesn't work, you can go to C. Or as Hannibal Smith says from the A-Team, always have a plan B. We know that cursive was initially developed because when you learn cursive, 4 things happen in the brain. Number 1, it teaches you flow. It teaches you thinking ahead because you always have to think of the next letter coming and how you have to connect it. And then and all of that it's also a kinesthetic hand-eye coordination movement. So it's, if people understand the up, down, the left to the right in the flow and that constant break, there's a cognitive pattern that develops in the brain when you learn cursive writing. Well, if you don't want kids to be problem solvers, critical thinkers, and actually question things or have suspicious mind, ditching cursive from the curriculum was the easiest way to do it because it really makes kids dumber. If they don't know cursive, they're missing that entire cognitive development piece, which is why they teach it at grades 2 and 3, because that's when that portion of the brain develops. People have forgotten that, and it's just gone right out the window.
They can't write cursive. They can't drive stick shift.
I can drive stick shift.
can
I
too.
love my father for that one. He gave me 30 minutes to learn. God bless him. I'll tell you, it was the best thing I ever did. And now, because I love driving stick. All my cars are stick.
I learned on a '72 Volkswagen Bug.
There we go. Yep.
And
Love
if you
that.
can drive that, you can drive anything.
Hey, and I love driving stick because now, good luck, no one's going to steal it because you can't drive it.
Exactly. You can leave it run.
I can
No
leave the
one steals
keys in it because they can't drive it. Good luck. But no, so it's one of those interesting things. But understanding that sequence of
The flow.
the flow, and that was the other thing too. Like I talk about that cognitive beginning to end piece.
Sort of like hips.
Oh, he got so. Okay, we're in the studio. You can't see on the wall, but on the wall is this Elvis thing, and his hips are swinging back and forth on the wall. And it's interesting because he got in trouble for that.
Absolutely.
So
It was too provocative.
yeah, I mean the church groups didn't
Yeah.
like him. It's just whatever. But
Again, juvenile delinquency.
hey,
Yeah.
So it's just
Okay, I'll say one thing here, and I think this is where what makes this program unique in its own way is a slogan that I try to live up to, or once I learned it, I try to maintain it, is when everyone is thinking the same, no one is thinking at all.
that's right. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And that's funny because when you listen to some of the recording studio, the rough cuts right now that they're releasing from RCA in Tennessee, it's interesting because what Elvis heard, other people didn't hear.
Mm-hmm.
And he did most of his recording like 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And it was interesting just to hear him go, no, that wasn't right. And then you hear somebody else go, well, what did you hear differently? He goes, let me play it again. and it was
Just
interesting.
that
That slight off, but he just heard things at such a different level than everybody else in the studio. And like I said, I am a music person, so I get a lot of that because I hear some things the same way too. You know, I can't watch like America's Got Talent because when they sing off key, I'm like, oh, I can't do that. Can't do it. But it's an interesting thing how he saw that. He was that forward thinking. It's kind of neat.
Exactly. He could see what he was hearing.
Yes, and he also knew where he wanted. He knew what his end goal. He knew the end goal. He knew where he wanted to be, and he knew what it take to get there. And that's kind of the fun thing about your health and financial too. Like you're goal driven.
Just slightly. Yeah.
Okay, so when you work with your people when they want to like redo their finances,
The goal is to get them on the right path.
you got to set goals.
Absolutely.
You have to do what has.
Short-term, mid-term, and long-term goals. You
Right.
have to have.
So
some
you
of
want to
those in
move
place.
them from the ghetto into the garden.
Absolutely.
See, we gotta have so much fun with this.
So they love me.
They love it, but that's kind of you. And the other thing is too. Someone said we were joking at home last night. It was, well, Sam should tell everybody that they should work with you so that you don't have a blue Christmas.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, please come work with me. Absolutely.
Tell them a little bit about you. Go.
Well, I'm a financial service representative with Primerica. I teach people about money. I help them plan for their future and use their money wisely. And I truly believe the financial system is broken, and people need a better way.
You should come talk to the school board.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you, because let me tell you, some of the decisions that they make about money drives me insane. You know, I just.
Well, they listen to the noise, and the noise is not our friend.
No, I've heard some interesting things, and you know, working on budget, it's crazy. You know. Oh wait, we have an inflation. We have people on a fixed income. But yeah, let's raise taxes.
Absolutely.
No. So it's one of the other things. One of the other things we talk about too about health, wellness, life, spirituality, what takes someone to be healthy. One of the songs Elvis put out in '73 was "Raised on a Rock." He had a very strong gospel background, very strong, and that was important to him. I know his mom was a big influence on him growing up, and you know, how important do you think that piece is in people's health?
Tremendously. Faith, hope. You have to have hope. You have to. Without faith, you're nothing. You have to have that belief. Exactly.
Right.
No matter what the higher power is called, you have to have a higher power.
Right.
Whether it's you know, however the name is used. Right. There's a higher power. Right.
And it's funny because being a music person, I went to college for music for the first couple of years till I flipped to education. I still to this day love music. Like I'm the music director at my church. I do all the ministry at church. I pastor. I deliver the children's sermon on Sunday. So if you're local and you want to come see what we do at Dryland UCC Church in Nazareth on Newburgh Road, my church, Community of Faith, is actually coming to Dryland on Sunday for Easter Sunday. I'm also giving the children's sermon, which is going to be epic. So if you know, we're trying to teach the young at heart. On Sunday. So I'm doing music ministry, children's ministry at Dryland on Sunday for Easter Sunday. Our service starts at 9:30. We are on Newburgh Road in Nazareth, so if you want to come join us. And if you love bingo, we are doing 2 bingos at Dryland. One is a fundraiser for the church, and the second is a fundraiser for the foundation, the Every Ribbon Counts Foundation. That's on May 15th, which is a Sunday. So if you love bingo, if you want tickets, it's so easy to get tickets. You can just call Dr. Susan, 610-417-2448, 610-417-2448, or you can always just call Dryland Church and reach out to them in Nazareth. But again, Easter Sunday is coming on Sunday. You know, that was real big in Elvis's life as well. And understanding the importance of religion in your life, that was a big influence for him, and it should be for everybody. So I hope you all find a church to go to on Sunday and celebrate that day. And that's what we're going to do. So that's kind of a fun thing
Very
that
cool.
we got going on.
Very
but yeah,
cool. That's awesome.
But join us for all the fun things. But today's show's been about the King, Elvis. And, you know, his life was just so incredible. I still think, you know, he was only 42.
He was very young.
42 when he passed away in 77.
Young
Which
people
is,
die.
it's, yeah, but I think someone pushed him over the edge too. I think that doctor
That's-
just should,
Mhm.
that's, hope he's gonna rot wherever he's at.
You
but-
need a will.
Yeah,
You need a
need to be
plan,
prepared.
You need
Plan on the
life
well.
insurance. Mm-hmm.
So for a guy who recorded over 600 songs, 30 movies, and we were talking about this, he never toured. Like today, if you're a major rock star, you're like performing all over the
Everywhere.
world. Elvis only left the country once to perform outside the country, and technically it was Canada. And back then, you could just
It's
kind of
sort
drive.
of the same thing.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of the same.
Same concept.
Yeah, but he never toured anywhere outside the United States to do a concert anywhere.
And those in other countries love him
Right.
just as much
Right.
as we do here.
Right.
Mhm.
So it's that was something too, a little trivia fact about never leaving the
American
country. But again, I look at that as kind of a thing where why are you not stepping outside your comfort zone? With your health, you should step outside your comfort. So, if you want to step outside your comfort zone, get happy, healthy, financially solvent, you need to reach out to Dr. Susan and Sam.
Absolutely.
You can reach us anywhere. You can reach Sam at 610-442-8209.
Absolutely.
610-442-8209. We need a jingle for your phone number.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Dr. Susan. Like I said, I run a growing health practice in Nazareth. Our number one therapy right now, believe it or not, is our body wraps.
Oh,
We do
okay.
these detox, slimming body wraps. We do cool sculpting, cryotherapy, pain management, tons of pain management. But what's really right now is people are detoxing. I own a patent with the Ionic foot bath. It's a detox foot bath where you soak your feet for 37 minutes. So many people are getting so much healthier coming in and pulling the toxins out. It's
Releasing the toxins helps the body.
It is phenomenal. So if you have 37 minutes and want to learn about a foot bath, reach out to Dr. Susan, 610-417-2448. You too can decrease inflammation, get rid of headaches, get rid of the anesthesia after, surgery. It's a wonderful thing to kind of keep healthy and happy. But that's what we do, is keeping healthy, people happy, moving forward. What are you going to do tomorrow to make the next day better?
Help more people.
Help more people. Hopefully we can. So we've talked about all of the people who have submitted. Thank you everybody for your comments and your texts.
Cindy, Primo, Ruthie, thank you.
Everybody, Joelle, everybody, and Shelly. She came in a little bit later, but it's one of those neat things where you have all this music, tons of music. I have like tons of Elvis CDs at home, and just if people who don't know what a CD
CDs.
is, okay. If I still had a tape recorder, I probably would have had some cassettes
Absolutely.
too. Anyway, it's what about a song makes you smile?
There's so many things. Where you were the first time, or the experience that you heard it the first time, or just the words and the lyrics, what they mean to you, and they mean different things to everyone else. It's music calms the savage beast.
Yeah.
It's truly an amazing tool for health and
And
wellness.
I always think too, like life would be so much better with background music.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think on the one show we talked about the most inappropriate songs to play at a wedding, or the most inappropriate songs to play at a funeral.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I think about that. Like, I think it would be so much more entertaining if we just changed the background music on some of the news broadcasts.
Oh, absolutely.
It's
Well, it would be the Benny Hill music
Yeah,
for most
I
of
know.
it. So, unfortunately.
So it is one of the other fun things in life that you can do. But if you're out there and about and you want to learn a little bit more about Elvis, there's a lot to learn. If you haven't been to Graysdale, it's kind of neat just to see. It's that life. But I got to give you another trivia fact about this man. So when you go to Graysdale, huge estate, beautiful grounds, it's still upkept. I mean, they have the museum of all of his costumes. They have the museum.
Graceland.
Sorry.
It's up in North.
Oh, that's right. We don't like Graysdale because they fired all the people who got vaccinated. Didn't get vaccinated. Graceland. Sorry.
Graceland.
My brain's flying. I'm going a million miles a minute. So Graceland is his airplane is on the property, the house. There's a mini recording studio on there as well. But when you go into his estate at Graceland, you are not allowed upstairs where the bedrooms are. Absolutely not. And the gentleman who gives the tour at Grade. What are you laughing? Why are you laughing at
Because
that?
that's where the burning love happens.
Okay, I was so not going there.
I have a feeling it has more to do with where the bathroom was where he passed away.
Yes. That could be.
Well, when we were listening to talking to one of the tour, the docents, he was very private in a very way. So even when he entertained, no one other than the immediate family was allowed up the steps, where the bedroom and the back. That's it. No one was ever allowed up there, and that was his thing. No one went upstairs. Just the family. No guests, no friends. That was it. And that was his private zone, which I thought was interesting but that's another interesting fact about that. Setting limits. Rock is now setting a limit for us, telling us that we are almost off the air. We have a couple of seconds left. But again, set your limits. Be healthy. Be suspicious. Question everything. Don't be cruel. At the end of the day, you have to do things
My way.
your way or my way.
Mhm.
Take your motto, but remember, you have to live your life. And I'll leave with this. Don't pretend to be somebody that you're not, because you are not being paid as a professional actor to be that person.
Absolutely. Be
So
yourself.
just be real. Be yourself. Be healthy wherever you are. I'm
And be
Dr.
safe.
Susan. This
I
is
am
Sam.
Sam.
Until next time, thank you, WGBA. Thank you for everybody who's out there.
Have a very safe and happy Easter.
That's right.
Don't forget the reason why.
That's right.
Yes.
All right. Good show.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you. And we are still on.
And
Yep.
We're still on.
Yeah. Well, here we go.
There we go. We are going to fly to the next show.
Very cool.